This is a very uncomfortable question, but very important question to ask yourself as much as possible is my impression, my opinion, my perspective of what reality is accurate to reality? There's an objective truth, an objective reality out there. Uh, and then there is our perspective of it, our opinion of it, our impression, like what we think it is. Um, and of course, the goal is to have those things be the same, have our perspective be accurate to reality, but it feels asymptotic. I think that's the right word. A line that gets closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to this other line, but they just never, ever, ever quite touch. They just get like closer and closer and closer. Where like we don't interact with reality directly. Everything is filtered through the senses. We don't even see the full light spectrum. We can't hear every pitch of sound. There are sounds higher and lower than what we can hear. There are possibly other senses that we can't even comprehend or imagine. Um, and so to have our, like, we have our perspective, our opinions of what we think reality is. And it's very easy to confuse those with true objective reality because that's all we got. That's the best we got. We never can know true objective reality. We can only know our perspective, our impression, our beliefs, which are formed from our experiences. And sometimes it's just good to check yourself and be like, well, not just sometimes, I think literally always question everything. That's why I end every single video of mine with that. To question your own perspective also. Because it's easy to think about questioning everything external to you, but I think that's why I'm making this video to remind us that sometimes you need to question yourself, question your own perspectives, biases, conclusions about what reality is. Um, Specifically, one other way that I'm thinking about this, a different way of thinking about this, like everything I've discussed so far, I've thought about extensively for a long time, but there's a new twist on it that is fairly recent as far as observing your own behavior. I see often, very often, people describing their own behavior. Like you can ask someone a question about themselves, and then they can say, "Oh, I do this," or "In this type of situation, I respond this way," or blah blah blah. But then, the more you know them, you start to realize, no, they don't actually do that. That's what they wish they would do in that type of situation, or the way they would want to respond, or the way that they think that they respond, but in fact they don't, right? So I think, or even just asking, even even like in the self improvement realm, there's lots of YouTube channels all about that, where they try to create this perfect morning routine. Where they're like, okay, you're gonna get up at 5 a.m. and then you're gonna drink water and then you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that and all these specific things in a specific order. And that can be good, but then sometimes you can have the other a totally different perspective of it, of like, I have a morning routine in which I give my dog like 3 minutes of attention every single morning, and I didn't think about it, I didn't plan it, I didn't choose to do it. It's more of an observation of what I just naturally do, right? There's the difference between what I think I do every morning. What I think I do every morning, what I choose intentionally to do every morning is like I drink water, I make the bed, I get out of my pajamas and get into my regular clothes, all that sort of stuff. But then when I observe myself, when I'm like, okay, is my impression accurate to reality? What do I actually do every morning? Like, oh, I am like acknowledging my dog's excitement to see me in the morning. And that's a part of my morning routine in a different way. And that difference is subtle, but feels important to acknowledge. And that subtle difference may apply in other areas of life too. Question everything.